talk, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Hiral Dadia. We have with us Mr. Sunil Chemmankotil, Head Specialized Staffing at TeamBees Digital, joining in. Welcome to the show, Sunil, and a pleasure to speak to you and get insights from you. A fabulous report that you have come up with as well, clearly indicating as to what the jobs market could actually look like from here on. And I think that's something which is a necessity in this time as well, to actually understand the gap between demand and supply, the gap between skilling versus what the industry actually wants. Firstly, what is the overall, outlook looking like?
The overall outlook is very encouraging, as you would have seen in our report that we have done a detailed survey with around 750 industry leaders and with a lot of industry houses. And what we have come out with is a very established report, or a long report, which covers how the industry has been shaping up. So we have majorly focused on engineering, telecom, and healthcare. Because what has happened in the past few years is that there is a lot of focus on IT, and all the talk is about IT and the demand supply gap. So we thought, what is the core sector, which is evergreen sectors, how are they performing, and what is the future looking like. So if you see this year, from last year to this year, there are around 2 million jobs which got added in this sector. Whereas we predict that, based on the survey, that there's a 6x growth in the next 5 years. So we are saying that there will be 12 million new jobs created in these three sectors put together. Today, these three sectors put together contribute to 42 million employment, which is roughly 8.7% of the total workforce. But this is going to drastically change. It's just not the IT which is going to grow. This industry is also going. These industries are also going to grow in a big way. That's the first and foremost outcome of this report.
Right. So overall, let's divide it in terms of the sectors that you've taken. Firstly, why the concentration on engineering, telecom, and healthcare? Do you think these are the sectors which are going to see exponential growth versus the others?
Yes, we feel that these are the three sectors. There are specific reasons. If you look at healthcare, we all know that post-pandemic, there is a huge focus on healthcare, and healthcare as a sector has been, traditionally running in India for quite some time, and modernization has to happen in this sector, with more and more hospitals opening up, and there is a lot of research happening in India. We all know that we also came out with our own vaccination. So, and on top of it, there is a change in the way patients are given the reports, and the industry as such works, because there is a technology and a connectivity which has come to forefront in this sector. So that was one reason why we chose healthcare. And second, engineering, because the government, government GOI policies have been very favorable. There are PLI schemes which got launched, and there is a huge focus on infrastructure. So engineering sector is bound to do well. It has been a kind of a stagnant, but I think we feel that it will do very well in the next 5 years. And third is the telecom. Telecom has been going through a lot of ups and downs for quite some time now. But I think the 5G spectrum auction, which is just round the corner, and there is also a lot of modernization which will happen in telecom sector, from 2G to 4G, 3G to 4G, and 4G to 5G. And it is very important for these three sectors to go hand in hand, because even if you look at healthcare, you need a connected report, or a connected product to work. You need a very strong network. So telecom plays an important role there. And if I take engineering again, with the 5G launch, there is a lot of focus which will come on IoT, and for the IoT again you need telecom. So we found that these three sectors, while they are very core to India's growth, they are also very interlinked. That's the reason we chose these three.
Right. And overall, okay, so between again, from these three sectors as well, the branch out is really huge. Like, yes, engineering does lead to electricals, manufacturing, chemicals, agri, power, auto, aerospace, defense. Similarly, telecom has a lot of branches. Healthcare has a lot of branches as well. So,
Yeah.
what is that supply demand gap that you're seeing? Are you seeing a gap which says that, okay, on the demand side, these are the kind of jobs, these are the kind of jobs which are actually, watched out for, versus on the supply side, there is a complete different mismatch. So is there a gap in terms of the skill requirement of the people?
Yes, there is already, we are noticing that there is some skill demand supply gap, because the skills required for the new age skills, I would say, has some amount of technology. As you all know that every industry is become technology focused industry. So there is a gap there, predominantly the major portion of the hiring which happens in these industries, there has been a good supply, but however the specialized skills, which we call the higher order skills, where you need a different set of experience and expertise, those kind of skills we find that there is a gap, and in the years to come, in the next 5 years, the specialized skills will contribute at least 17%, which is roughly 2 million out of the total 12 million. So that's where we have to focus, and we have to work on building a strong supply chain, people supply chain, I would say.
Right. So overall, how do you advise to actually fill this gap? Because when you're providing recruitment opportunities, you're connecting on both sides. From the demand side as well as from the supply side. How do you look to bridge this gap as well? Because clearly, otherwise, there will be a clear mismatch from a business perspective as well.
Yeah. So that's the biggest economic complexity, I would say, that while most of the kids today are aligned to IT, because they get to know about IT right from 9th standard, 10th standard, and they know that what is happening in the IT industry. But the core sectors, we don't see that much of understanding of what are the job opportunities available and what kind of skills they need to work on. And unfortunately, even the edtech industry has done very well, but unfortunately they are also focused only on IT skills. So that's where I think in companies like organizations like Teamlease Digital and the edtech organizations and the universities should work on making the students know about what kind of skills are required and how they can upskill themselves. We require a major repair, prepare and upskill in this industry, because we don't get ready-made employees or ready-made talent in this sector, because the new age skills in these industries require domain skill. While they require a very good domain skill, they also require IT skills and technology skills. So that's where I think the NEP, the National Education Policy, the edtech companies, the industry houses, and people like organizations like Teamlease Digital all have to play an important role to market this, visit universities, visit institutes, and then let them know what kind of opportunities are available in the market and what skill sets they need to prepare with, come with. Yeah.
Right. So overall, tell me one thing. So is it that Teamlease also, probably partners with edtech companies, universities, etc., to actually say, for example, a candidate comes to you saying that, okay, this is where I am looking to get a job. However, you see that with this a particular candidate, there is some bit of upskilling required. Do you also recommend, candidates to say, to tell them that, okay, these are few institutes where you can go upskill yourself and then come back? Is that a kind of business model also that you're looking at?
Yes, we are already doing that kind of business model. We call that hire, train, deploy. So what we do is that we identify the talent. They need some basic domain skills and some basic skills. Then we talk to them and explain them. let's say if a candidate is earning X amount, we say that you have a good opportunity to make, let's say, 25 or 30% higher salary, but you need to upskill let's say in one technology or one skill, and we also suggest which places they can do. In some cases we also help them to we hire them and then we train them, because it's a kind of career path which we provide to them. Teamlease Digital also has its own edtech company, where we do a lot of upskilling and then we deploy them at a higher salary. We also have collaborations with external edtech companies. Not only that, Teamlease also has a vocational university. It also got a NAC approved now. So we have it in Baroda, and it's a place where we create curriculum based on the future skills. So that helps them to upskill, prepare, upskill, and then be ready for the opportunities.
Right. And overall, currently, is the business model only, say, I wouldn't call it, probably a B2C or a B2B, or are we also engaging on the B2G side from a job perspective, from a skilling perspective?
We do a lot of B2C, while from my organization side, core focus is not B2C, but in a way we do a lot of counseling, and we identify the talent and we guide them on how they can make a better career. So the career choices are very important. As I explained earlier, in IT, which are the skills and which pays you high salaries. So people get hooked onto it right from engineering colleges, and the education system to some extent is already modified there. But when it comes to these sectors, engineering, telecom, and healthcare, we still are evolving in that sector, and it is not marketed that much. So we do a lot of counseling, we handhold them, and we, as I explained, we hire them, we train them, and we deploy them. And it is working very well. In a way, it gives them a better opportunity to earn more, and also change the career path little bit towards the future skills.
Right. And are we open to do any business on the B2G front as well? Because a lot of government students, who are actually looking to get upskilled, etc. So do we have any models on that front?
Currently, as I explained, our Teamlease Vocational Institute University definitely provides that, and our EdTech organization also has courses where candidates can pick up and then get trained. And not only that, we also have a lot of EdTech companies available in the market where they can do. But specifically for the government students, as you are saying, I think it requires much more collaboration between EdTech and the industry houses.
Right. So overall, it seems like the market is really growing. And clearly, from the report that you've published as well, the kind of contribution that engineering, healthcare, telecom is going to do to GDP and the kind of jobs that are expected to be created is also huge. But thank you, Sunil, so much for joining us on the show. I mean, a brilliant report to read and understand, not only from the sector perspective, but even from a broader perspective as to where the economy is growing, what are going to be the areas of focus and how the government is looking at it. Thank you so much for joining us on the show. Looking forward to a lot more reports from your end and to discuss the same as well. Thank you.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you, Viral.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel for in-depth interviews of India Inc. and press the bell icon so that you do not miss our updates.